Good evening, everybody, and welcome. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Ultimate Gaming League. We're here for round 12 of the season. It is the French Grand Prix at Paul Ricard. So we're just going to be getting going any second now. A couple of driver changes just to run through with you. Jamie is racing in the Mercedes tonight in place of Stefan. Lewis, who was a full-time driver in the Alpine, he has dropped to reserve driver, and tonight he is going to be in the AlphaTauri, partnering Piercy. We have 17 drivers on the grid. Roland in the McLaren, he does have a qualifying ban, unfortunately, but he will be joining for the race. So here we go. The drivers readying up now. I will do an onboard lap of this racetrack. Hopefully, again, I won't be a curse to anyone who I am on board with, as has happened quite a few times. So here we go, into Q1. For those of you that don't know, 18 minutes for the session. We lose the drivers usually. Only the top 15 make it through. Only 17 drivers take one. We're only going to lose 2 from this session, so it does take a little bit of pressure off certainly some drivers. Paul Ricard track a few seasons ago, very wide runoff areas. I think it's 149 different track configurations around here as well. So I will, as I said, I will take you on an onboard lap. The drivers will be getting their setups ready now, ready to go for the first part of qualifying. And at the moment, it's looking completely dry. But if any of the drivers are watching, if you can give me a weather forecast for the race, that would be great, so that we know what is happening. As I said, 17 drivers in this qualifying session. I will go through the championship situation with you as well at some point. Also, we do have Bailey racing tonight. He is back in the Alfa Romeo. First car heading out onto the racetrack. It is one of the Haas boys. It is Sniper. Is the first car out onto the racetrack. And he's shown a real upturn in pace in the last few weeks. So I hope he'll be certainly hoping that he can keep that going tonight. Also out on track is Adam, previously known as Fleets, in the Red Bull. And also Frank is heading out in the Mercedes. We've got the other Haas coming out of Midgeman. And it looks like an AlphaTauri is venturing onto the racetrack. So that'll be either Lewis or Piercy. It is indeed Lewis. So reigning world champion Lewis, now a reserve driver. So let's see how he approaches this weekend. We're watching Sniper at the moment. We'll do an onboard lap with him. And I hope he forgives me if I'm a curse to him once again. But let's see what he can do here tonight. So here he is now in the third sector. So here is an onboard lap of this circuit. Onto the pit straight. DRS zone here, heading down towards the first chicane. Look at the speed there, just touching 200 miles an hour. Brake as late as you dare, into turn 1, 100 miles an hour through turn 1. Turn 2, off camera, 125 miles an hour. Don't run too wide on the exit. And then a short little squirt of power up into turn 3. You can take quite a lot of curb on the inside here. 110 miles an hour. Turn 4, 80. than the slowest corner on the circuit. Turn 5, just 60 miles an hour. Then turn 6. And then turn 7 is this little left-hand flick onto the Mistral straight. Second DRS zone here, building up once again to 200 miles an hour. And brake as late as you dare for this chicane. 100 through the first part, down to 60 through the second. Hard on the power. And that is counted as a corner as well, that little left-hand flick. Then look at the commitment into this corner. 190 miles an hour. And then as well, the turn into this one, you're slowing down while turning into this corner, down to 100 miles an hour at the slowest point. Then for the late apex, bring it over to the right-hand side for this difficult, tightening left-hander. 80 miles an hour at the slowest point. Short shifting on the exit there. Then flat out through this right-hand thing, and then look at this, 115, a little bit wide there for Sniper, then down into the final corner, and I apologise, this is the slowest corner on the circuit, 50 miles an hour, that final corner, back onto the pit straight, and Sniper goes across the line, and he does a 132.4, not a bad first lap from him. So here comes Fleets. Heading down towards the line, and he goes fastest of all so far on a 131.9. Nameless is on a lap as well at the moment. The other Haas is just about to complete a lap as well. Let's see what Midge can do. And he takes provisional fastest time. Frank is about to cross the line as well, but I think he's invalidated his first lap. So, Midge fastest at the moment. Lewis also invalidated his first effort. Piercy's out on track as well. Also on a lap. Most drivers out there on the racetrack now, as Piercy goes fourth fastest, a fraction slower than Sniper. And Nameless goes fastest of all on a 131.4. Good effort from him on his first run. Napier in the Aston Martin is about to cross the line. And he goes second. Look at that, 11 thousandths of a second slower than Nameless. Kronos Grand is also on a lap. And let's see what he can do. He does a 32.8. So Tom Inferno's invalidated his second lap. So has Jamie. Frank is on a lap as well. And so is Lewis. They haven't invalidated so far. Bailey's on a lap here as well in the Alfa Romeo. And also Davis here in the Williams. Heading down towards the line. And he goes fifth fastest. 32.0. But again, look how close the lap times are already. We're seeing just how close these lap times are here this evening between these drivers. Here comes Bailey now in the Alfa Romeo. And he goes ninth on a 33.2. And Frank does a 32.4 to go seventh fastest. 2 thousandths of a second only faster than Piercy. Lewis jumps up to fifth on a 32.0 on his second attempt. So Tom Inferno and Jamie have both invalidated their second laps. Are they going to go again? Tom Inferno isn't, but Jamie is. Ollie Berry's on an outlap as well in the Alpine, as is Prawn Star in the Red Bull. So Jamie is trying again. So let's see what he can do. Great to see Jamie back on the grid again here tonight. And I'm sure he'll be... Oh, and he's invalidated again. I was just going to say, I'm sure he'll be hoping to get some good points on the board for Mercedes. But he's struggling to get a lap on the board at the moment. So Prawn Star next. Another one who is showing quite a good turn of speed in the last few races. Has been involved in a few incidents though. But overall his speed is improving. And we are seeing the field getting closer and closer as the season goes on, which is great for us as the viewers. Pom Poms reckons that Midge is going to have P1 and an easy win. Well, he's up in third place at the moment, so you never know what's going to happen. Let's see how Prawn Star gets on here in the Red Bull. Very good first sector from him so far. Ollie Berry's just started his lap. As well in the Alpine, but let's see what Prawnstar can do. A very good middle sector as well. Prawnstar looks like he's really got some good pace going here. It is one of those racetracks, you can really attack it. There is lots of runoff areas, so if you do spin, it's very unlikely you'll find a wall, although try saying that to Charles Leclerc after this year's race. But it is also one of those racetracks where it is very, very easy in qualifying to invalidate your lap, and therefore, as well, very easy in the race to get penalties. We may see a huge raft of penalties this evening in the race. Jamie is carrying on again for another lap. Here comes Prawnstar. Let's see what this lap time is from him. He goes 10th fastest on a 32.6. As I said, only the bottom two we're going to lose from this session. So I think a lot of these drivers are going to be not pushing quite as much as they can do. Kronos Grand is still out there as well on his lap. Climber and Hobgoblin, the two Ferraris out there. Climber, I apologise for missing last week's race, but Climber was the race winner last weekend. And both Ferraris are out there on laps at the moment. Here, Ollie Berry's invalidated his first attempt. And it looks like he is carrying on, though, to try again. Here comes Jamie. Looks like he's kept it all together this time. His teammate's up in 8. That you would think would be his first target. But let's see what he can do now as he heads towards the line. And Jamie goes 13th fastest. So I get the feeling he wasn't pushing quite as hard as he could do there. He's quite a bit slower than the rest of the field. Here comes Hobgoblin, and he moves up into 3rd on a 31.6. His teammate Climber is just about to cross the line now as well. And he jumps up to 5th on a 31.7. So it is already looking very close in that top 5. Less than 3 tenths covering the top 5 at the moment. I know it is only Q1, but it is looking pretty close out there. Good evening, Wavy Minds. Good to have you watching, mate. Oh, and Ollie Berry spins it. Ollie Berry spins it. That was out of Labuse, that long right-hander we saw on the onboard lap, where it gradually gets tighter in the final sector. And Ollie Berry has spun around. And I think he grazed the wall. I don't think he caused himself any damage, but he is coming into the pits. We do see this sometimes from Ollie, don't we? If you remember previous qualifying sessions, I think it was Imola. He was spinning like a top in qualifying, but then had a very, very good race. But here comes Tom Inferno now in the second Aston Martin. He is just about to complete his first time lap, his first attempt. He invalidated. Napier, his teammate, is second fastest at the moment. So let's see what Tom can do as he heads towards the line. And Tom Inferno goes 8th fastest, 32.0. So at the moment, Jamie is out of the session, as is Ollie Berry. Bailey's the driver at risk at the moment. He's back out on the racetrack on a brand new set of tyres, as is Frank in 11th place. Still 6 minutes to go in this session. So they've got a little bit of time yet. So only a few cars out there. Nameless is out there. He went back out on the same set of tyres as he did in his first run, but he's half a second down in the first sector on his previous best. So he's not using any battery power. That's why. So I think he's just doing a few exploratory laps. We do see this from Nameless a lot in qualifying. In Q1 especially, he does do a lot of laps. But name's always up there near the top of the timing sheets, which I think worries a lot of people when he's doing these lap times with a lot of fuel on board. Sniper's on a lap, or on an out lap now as well. So Bailey now on a lap. Let's see if he is improving in the first sector. He has found a fraction. Let's see how Frank's getting on. And this is a slower lap from Frank. I think he's going for it now. So Bailey there, getting a bit of a toe. I think that was Ollie Berry on his out. Oh, and he's invalidated. Too much curb there. Midgeman's retired from the session. He feels he's done enough. So yeah, Bailey there just invalidated his lap. Took a bit too much curb at the chicane. As I was saying, it's so easy to do. Here is Frank. He's found nearly 2 tenths in the first sector. And he's on a fresh set of tyres as well. So he didn't feel safe there in 11th place. And it looks like his teammate's slowing down in front of him. So maybe there might be a bit of teamwork going on here with the two Mercedes. Is Jamie going to try and give Frank a tow? Riding on board with Frank now. And Jamie's a little bit too far in front, really. He will be getting a bit of a tow here. As Jamie does move out of the way. So maybe a little bit of benefit there for Frank, as he's now into the final sector. Now I've heard, don't know how true it is, that Frank's leg is in a splint. So I hope you're okay, Frank. But also I hope it doesn't affect your racing too much this evening either. Napier has also retired, so he feels safe up there in second. So let's see what Frank can do now as he comes out of the final corner. 11th at the moment. Where does this lap put him? He goes up to 4th. Good lap there from Frank. Found 3/4 of a second. Jamie is now on his flying lap. So is Sniper. Let's see how Sniper's doing. 11th fastest at the moment. His teammate's up in 5th. As Sniper now into the final sector. I'm just trying to find out what the weather report is. But let's see how Sniper gets on. 11th fastest at the moment. Can he just get himself a little bit safer in this session? We're only losing the bottom 2. Apparently it's going to be raining in Q2. That is going to be interesting. And raining halfway through the race. So that is going to add some excitement to it. As Sniper does improve but remains 11th. Piercy's retired from the session as well. So he's in 12th place. He feels he's done enough. Jamie's on his lap. He's found 1.3 seconds. I said his first lap. I don't know if he made a mistake somewhere or just backed out of it. But it wasn't that representative. Couple of seconds off the pace, and we know Jamie's faster than that. He's in the final sector now. Let's see what this is. Kronos Grand is the driver at risk at the moment. He needs to get out on the track pretty quick, does Kronos, or he's going to be knocked out of the session. As Jamie goes across the line, he improves, but only to 16th, a fraction slower than Kronos Grand. Prawn Star's out on a lap as well. Does he improve? No, he's just starting lap. For some reason, the graphics are playing up a little bit for me here this evening. Hobgoblin's on an out lap as well. Bailey's trying again. Kronos Grand is on an out lap. He's going to be touch and go whether or not he gets round in time. But he's only going to have one attempt to save himself. Tommy Furno's now also retired from the session. Here comes Bailey. He is giving it one more go. And I think Jamie's just trying to charge his battery a bit, maybe for one more attempt. Prawn Star on a lap as well. So is Ollie Berry, who's 13th at the moment in this session. Is he going to give this one more go, or is he coming in the pits? No, he's going to give it one more go. Davis is out there as well. A lot of drivers seem to be doing a warm-up lap to get their tyres up to temperature. So Bailey has found a couple of tenths in the first sector. Jamie is on... Yeah, he's on a slow lap, isn't he, at the moment? Let's see how Prawnstar's getting on. He's coming into the final sector now. 14th, but he's only half a tenth faster than Jamie in 16th position. So Prawnstar is at very real risk of being knocked out here. As here comes Prawnstar, and he goes 8th fastest, 32.0. Kronos Grant is just going to start his lap on time, and so is Jamie. Bailey has found another couple of tenths. Oh, a little bit wide there, though. As yellow flag, that's Prawnstar getting out of people's way. And Bailey's abandoned the lap. He's coming in. So that is it. Kronos is safe. He doesn't need to complete this lap because Jamie has crossed the line. And he didn't quite cross the line in time, did Jamie. And Kronos is improving, though. So is Ollie Berry. So let's see what Ollie can do. But a good effort there from Prawnstar. Get himself into the top 10. Not that far behind his teammate either. So Ollie now coming across the line. And he improves to 13th. Is Kronos still improving? Let's see what... Oh, I just missed the... I have to say, quite impressive there with Ollie, because that was his 7th lap on that set of tyres, so well past their best, and he still managed to find 3 tenths. So I think there's more pace to come. You can certainly see the clouds coming over now. So let's see how Kronos can do. How much further can he improve by? As Hobgoblin goes fastest of all on a 31.1, and Kronos moves up to 7th. Good lap from him, and that is it. That is the end of qualifying. Let's see if someone will come and talk to us. I'd quite like to talk to Jamie, actually. Stepping in this evening into the Mercedes seat. Let's see if he'll come and chat to us. Always like talking to Jamie. So that's it. We only lose Jamie and Bailey. And, of course, Roland will be joining the race later on as well. So that is your bottom 3. Roland, if anyone who missed it, had a qualifying ban for this race. Accrued too many penalty points so far this season. So let's see if Jamie will come and join us. I hope so. Doesn't look like it. Okay, but there you can see the times. Hobgoblin put in a good lap there. 31.1. Okay, let's try Bailey. I'd like to talk to one of the bottom 2. Let's get their opinions on qualifying in the race. No, it appears no one wants to talk to me tonight. Okay, fair enough. But there you can see confirmation of the top 15 who have made it through. And now we're going to head into Q. As we have been joined by Bailey. Joe, just make sure your audio is included, please, mate. Great to have you. How do you feel Alfa Romeo seat now?
Well, based on my pegs, they're not, but oh well.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know you didn't race for a long time, so I mean, you're not too bad, too far off the pack. What's your hopes then going into this race? There's rain forecast for the middle of the race. Is that a good thing for you?
To be honest, if I'm still in it halfway through, then we'll see what happens. But I'm just really rusty, mate.
Yeah, definitely, mate. But I'm sure you will get your pace back. We know you've got some good pace in there somewhere. And so what's your... I mean, is this a track that you normally struggle on, or is this a track that you like?
It's a track that I like. I haven't actually got a setup for it, so I've just made it up off the top of my head. We'll just have to see how it goes, mate, to be honest. But I'm not too hopeful, of course.
Okay, well, good luck for the race, mate. I hope you have a good one, and I hope we talk to you later.
Yeah, no worries, cheers, mate.
Cheers. So, into Q2. We lose 3 minutes off the time here. It is raining out there, but some drivers are heading, well, a lot of the drivers are heading straight out, and they're going to try and set a lap time on slick tyres. Only 2 cars remain, now only 1 car remains in the pit lane, and that is Davis, who has immediately put on a set of intermediates. So he clearly feels that he's not going to be able to get a lap in. The DRS has been disabled. Now that is normally a sign that the track is too wet for slick tyres. That is usually the sign when we see it in the race. So, well, if anyone can keep it on the road here, I mean, if they, the thing is here, it's not raining. Let's ride on board with someone. They're riding on board with Adam. It is raining, but it's not, well, it is raining quite hard. So if they can keep the tyre temperature up, and I wish I had that graphic to see the tyre temperatures, I really do, but if they can keep the tyre temperatures up, they might be able to do it. But that rain is really coming down heavy. You can see it bouncing off the racetrack. I don't think anybody is going to be able to do this. The 2 Haas cars are, well, certainly one of them is. Sniper is attempting a lap. And, yeah, everyone is going to try this. So let's see how the conditions are here. I mean, you would think, really, the first cars will be the quickest out there on the slick. So that is the 2 Haas cars. And also, I think Lewis is out there. Davis has now joined the racetrack on a set of intermediates. So he's the only one out there at the moment on the intermediate tyres. So he is going to see, I mean, this could be a moment of genius, or he could be really kicking himself in a few minutes' time. But that rain really does look like it's hammering down now, as Sniper is heading down the Mistral Straight, the first half of the Mistral Straight. 14 drivers on a lap here. Just for those of you who don't know, we lose 3 minutes off the time here. So we're down to 15 minutes for this session, and only the top 10 make it into Q3. So we lose 5 drivers in this session, and it does look as if Sniper is going pretty quickly. They're all very bunched together, which is not what you want for a flat-out flying lap. But let's see. I mean, at the moment, Sniper looks as if he's hanging on to it. There are some puddles starting to develop, though. So anyone down in the back on the slicks, which Piercy's one of them, I think they're really going to struggle here. But let's see. This could be a real topsy-turvy grid, and we could see some big names suffering here. Let's have a look now. Sniper's heading towards the line. A lot slower than they were going before. He does a 37.9. Now, I'm going to try and keep up with these. Midgeman does a 38.0. Tommy Inferno a 38.9. Napier goes quickest, a 37.7. They're all seconds off the pace. Fleets has abandoned his lap. So Heasley thought it's a bad idea. And yeah, you can see the lap time's getting slower and slower as more and more drivers cross the line. This is Nameless. He somehow puts it in 5th place. Oh, there is a car off. Who is that? That's Midgeman. That's Midgeman off. I'm just trying to see where that is. That's down at turn 5. And Piercy, yeah, 39.8. Now, let's see. Lewis is trying again. He had his first lap disallowed. So let's see what Davis can do here. Will he be kicking himself? Or is this a moment of genius here for Davis? He's in the final sector. Oh, and there's a Mercedes round. I think that's Frank. Yeah, Frank's round. So they are really struggling. And Davis goes 12th fastest. Now, what I would say is quite often those intermediate tyres, in my experience anyway, of racing, is that the intermediate tyres do tend to get a little bit quicker once you sort of wear off that sheen. Well, you see the sheen certainly on the slick tyres. Once you wear that away, the intermediates do tend to become a little bit quicker. There's another car round. They're all struggling. Yeah, Frank's off again. They're really, really struggling. But it could be that those who have pitted for, or come out, sorry, onto the slick tyres might have just done an absolute genius thing, and Lewis has abandoned this lap. He's invalidated this one as well. So it could be, if this is the case, that 3 cars you'd expect to be through into Q3 or certainly usually into Q3. So Davis and Lewis and Fleets as well could be out. Frank really struggling to get back to the pits. Davis has invalidated this lap. Now, does he have the fuel to carry on and do another one? As I said, I found these intermediates do tend to get quicker. No, he's coming in. So the only car now out on the racetrack is this man, Fleets, in the Red Bull. And look how wet the racetrack is now. In literally, this session's been going 7 minutes. And in that time, it's gone from just about being able to cope with slicks to looking very wet indeed. Let's see how Adam can get on now. I've got to get used to calling him Adam and not Fleets. But let's see how he gets on now. Oh, big slide out of turn 2 with the power down. Tom Inferno is heading out onto the racetrack. He's the driver actually at risk at the moment. So at the moment, Napier's fastest from Sniper. Then we've got Kronos Grand in 3rd place. Midgeman 4th. Nameless 5th. Ollie Berry in 6th. Hobgoblin in 7th. Prawn Star 8th. There's another big wobble there from Adam. 9th for Climber. And Tom Inferno is 10th. He is the driver at risk. The drivers out at the moment of qualifying is Frank, Davis, Piercy, Adam, who we're watching, and Lewis. Kronos has retired from the session. He feels he's done enough here. Is he right? He has made Q3 on a few occasions, Kronos. I think his best ever qualifying is 3rd, if I remember. I think it was Silverstone last season. So, but he's not a regular Q3 appearance for Kronos, but he looks, at the moment, he looks as if he's made it through quite comfortably as the track conditions worsen. So let's see if those who did decide to go out on slicks made absolutely the right call, because Adam's about to complete a lap. Now, Tom Inferno is about to start his flying lap as well, so it'll be interesting to see the time comparison as Adam, yeah, look at that, a 140.4. So I think this could be it, and this could be the guys that are making it into Q3, because the intermediates don't look that quick. This is going to be the interesting one for me. Tom Inferno, who has done a lap on the slick tyres, a 38.9. Let's see if the intermediates are any faster. The conditions have worsened, of course, since he did that lap time. So let's see what his first sector time is like. Yeah, 7 tenths down. So that everyone who went out on slicks did an absolutely genius move. They really did. Lewis is just starting his lap. So, well, we might have 5.5 minutes of not a lot of action out there. So let's see if we can get a driver in to have a quick chat. I would like, actually, very much to talk to Climber, because he was the winner last weekend when I wasn't here. So I would very much like to talk to Climber. But, yeah, Tommy Funny, yeah, a second down. So it does appear that those who went straight out on the slicks, absolutely the right thing to do. And Climber is actually now out on track. Sorry, Climber, I didn't realise you were heading out on track, mate. Or else I wouldn't have invited you. I will talk to you in a bit. But, okay, let's see if... Okay, let's try Frank, because I want to just fill these few minutes. I can't see anyone improving, to be honest, right now. As Adam's in the pits, Lewis is on a lap as well, but it could be 15th, which is a very unusual grid position for Lewis. We've been joined by Frank. Make sure your audio is included, please.
Hello? Hello?
Hello, Frank. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah. Make sure your audio is included, please, mate. Well, I just thought I'd invite people in because I don't think anyone's going to be improving their lap times now. But 11th on the grid. How are you feeling about that heading into the race?
It's obviously not really where I wanted to be once we get into that Q3, but you know, it's quite easy to overtake around it, and so it just you know, without rain at the end, anything can happen really. So just see how it goes.
I was just going to say. I mean, we forecast rain at some point around maybe halfway or just after halfway. I mean, do you like the wet conditions? Do you think you can do well in them?
I mean, the wet round here isn't the hardest to master, so I think I should be alright.
Okay, and just give the viewers a bit of an insight. How much of a setup change do you do from dry to wet conditions, if any at all?
Well, I mean, you've obviously got to lower your diffs to get them wheels spinning less, lower the tyre pressures, just anything that gives you more grip, raising the suspension a little bit as well, to stop the car from aquaplaning. So it's just anything that will give you more grip, really.
Okay, well, thank you very much for joining us, and I hope you have a good race, and hope we talk to you later.
Yeah, see you later.
No worries. So, there are cars out on the track at the moment, but they're all struggling. Climbers off the racetrack. We saw Piercy, while we were talking about, we saw Piercy off the racetrack as well. As Napier's retired from the session, he feels he's done enough as well. Let's see if he will come and chat to us. I haven't spoken to Napier actually for a little while. As I said, just trying to fill in the bit of a lull with track action. Yes, there's cars out there, but I can't really see anyone improving. Yeah, Davis a second and a half down. So we have been joined by Napier. Greg, just make sure your audio is included, please. Thank you for joining us. I just thought I'd fill in a few minutes as I don't think anyone's going to be improving. But, well, I questioned it when you all came out of the track on slicks in the rain at the start, but it proved to be the right thing. How difficult were the conditions out there?
It was more difficult than wet because you're trying to judge the track in between the phase of it being dry and wet, and also because the amount of people the amount of dirty air I was collecting, especially from Tom and Lewis from the front, was the same. So trying to get into a corner whilst facing that was quite difficult, but where my car's strongest, it was a bit drier than the end of the track, so it worked out well.
Yeah, and I mean, you were P2, I think, in Q1. You're fastest here in Q2. I know slightly different conditions, but are you feeling like this could be quite a strong track and strong race for you?
I hope so, but I'm going in level-headed, so I don't like making promises to myself and then it not going well. So we'll just see, really, mate.
Yeah. Okay. Well, great to talk to you, Greg. I know it's been a while since I've spoken to you, and I hope you have a good race, and I hope we talk to you later.
Cheers, mate.
No worries. So we've got just under a minute to go. I think some of these drivers might just be out there just to test the conditions for later in the race. There is a Ferrari off there. That is Hobgoblin off the racetrack. So Hobgoblin spun down there at turn 7. It is a trick. That corner there, turn 7, and also the corner at the end of the second part of the Mistral straight, in the dry are easy corners, but in the wet, they are proper challenges. So easy to spin. And then we heard from Frank about the setup changes that they make to try and assist them in the wet, but a little bit too much throttle, and you will spin round. And I don't think anyone is improving at the moment. The session has now finished. So drivers on laps can complete them. And I think we have our bottom 5 confirmed. Frank, Davis, Piercy, Adam and Lewis all out of qualifying. The top 10, Napier, Sniper, Kronos Grand, Midgeman. So both Haas cars have made it through. Nameless in the Williams, Ollie Berry's Alpine, Hobgoblin, Prawn Star, Climber, so both Ferraris, and also Tommy Fono making it both Aston Martins have also made it into Q3. So I would like to talk to one of the bottom 5. Let's see if Davis will come and chat to us. Maybe he knew it was a bit of a gamble what he was doing, but still must be a bit disappointed. But 12th on the grid, not too bad for Davis. Having a very good season is Davis there in the Williams. And we have been joined by Davis. Please make sure your audio is included as well, mate. Well, you took the gamble. You decided to come out on Inters when everyone else was on slicks. Just slightly too late, really, on that one.
Yeah, I noticed on this game that it seems to rain seems to come down pretty quick. I was sort of hoping the switch over was going to come a lot quicker. So it didn't pay off. But I thought it might work with them. It just starts to rain like first out on Inters, and everyone else gets a bit of a wetter Inter.
Yeah, but still 12th on the grid, not that bad. I mean, you're sort of within striking distance of the top 10. I mean, how do you think you're going to go in the race? You think you're going to be moving forward?
Yeah, I do. Around here, I don't mind this track. It's one of my favourites.
Okay, and rain forecast for sort of halfway through the race-ish.
Yeah.
Do you like the wet conditions? Do you think you're going to do well in them?
Yeah, I prefer the wet over dry. So hopefully I'll pay off.
Well, yeah, definitely. Well, good luck for the race, mate.
Thanks,
and
mate.
I hope to talk to you later.
Cheers, bye.
No worries. I'm loving how many drivers I'm getting to talk to tonight. It's great. So, into Q3. We lose another 3 minutes off the clock. We're down to just 12 minutes. And if the wet conditions have or even got worse, we may see another set of inters or even full here for Q3. And it could be quite a jumbled up grid. And yeah, the rain is pouring down now, so it might even be full wet conditions for the drivers. It looks like they're all on full wets. So the rain absolutely hammering down. Pom-poms, I'll go through the championship situation in a little while. And Wave Minds, who's going to pull a Verstappen in Q3? Is that Q3 from today, Wavy, or Q3 from another time? I can't remember what his qualifying was like here. But anyway, drivers are heading out now on the full wets. And I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. But I think this is the first time this season that both Haas cars are into Q3. So good effort from them. As I said, both Ferraris and both Aston Martins have made it as well. We've got a Williams in there, a McLaren of Kronos Grand. Good effort from him. And a Alpine of Ollie Berry and the Red Bull of Prawnstar. So another Q3 appearance for Prawnstar. He's getting quite consistently into Q3 as the season goes on. From say, be a second quicker than head into the bits. I don't know, mate. I don't know. I did hear that it's because he didn't have enough fuel for a sample at the end of qualifying or something. That's what I heard, but how true that is, I don't know. But anyway, Q3, full wet conditions. Now, with these full wets, certainly at the start of qualifying here, they will be needed because there's quite a lot of sand in water. But as the session goes on and a racing line appears where they push the water off the racing line, if someone feels a bit confident, they might even risk a set of intermediates, because once a racing line appears, even if it is damp on there, if there isn't enough standing water, these full wets will overheat. So will somebody, maybe later on in the session, take a risk? Kronos Grand is the only car still in the pit lane. Sniper is now about to start his lap. So he was first man out in all three sessions this evening. And who's always making it rain? Wait, I promise you, we put it on dynamic. We actually didn't have a wet race for quite a while. So I think we've had a couple of wet qualifyings, but we haven't had a wet race for a little while. I think it was raining a bit in Canada. I think was the last time we had a little bit of rain. But that might have been in qualifying. Oh, Sniper's invalidated on his first flying lap. The two Aston Martins close together on the racetrack at the moment. Well, Wavy, we just, like to give you a challenge, mate. But I hope to have you racing again soon, Wavy. Really do. Miss you in the league, mate. But Napier, so Sniper's invalidated, so Napier is going to be the first man to cross the line. And Kronos Grant has gone on to a set of intermediates, so I said someone might risk it. Never had a pole position in UGL as Kronos. And I think he's only ever had one podium in his time here. So it'd be great to see him get up there. And it could be a risk worth taking. And Wavy's going to be joining for the Academy race. I might even be in that race myself, Wavy. So I'll probably see you as you lap me, but you never know. Right, so Napier is coming through. Look how tentative and look how slippery the racetrack is looking. But you can just see there is the racing line with no standing water on it. So Kronos Grand could be quids in here if he can keep it on the racing line. But here comes Napier. He does a 1:45.0. His teammate also a 45.0. Nameless goes third. And both Haas cars invalidated their laps as Prawn Star goes up into fourth place. But look how close the two Aston Martins are. Just under 300ths of a second between them. So Climbers on a lap, so is Hobgoblin. Now this is the one I'm interested in. How is Kronos dealing with those intermediates? And the moment doesn't look too bad. Let's see how he is in the corners. That's what I was talking about there. That little bit of a racing line with no standing water on it. Hobgoblin now heading towards the line in the Ferrari. And he goes fifth fastest. It's quite a slow lap, so I don't know if he made a mistake in there somewhere. Here comes Climber in the other Ferrari. Let's see how he goes. He goes fourth on a 46.1. That's incredible, isn't it? They're doing 31s, low 31s in Q1, and it probably wasn't even at full speed. So they're about 15, 16 seconds a lap slower than what they could be doing in these full wet conditions. Midgeman and Sniper both on laps. They both have not invalidated. Ollie Berry did invalidate his first attempt, and he is back in the pits. And Kronos Grand has abandoned the intermediates idea. And Pom Pom saying that Napier's on another level. Well, both Astons are at the moment nearly a second quicker than anyone else at the moment. So here, and Midgeman's abandoned this lap, so I don't know if he invalidated that one. But here comes Sniper, and he moves up to fifth. So he could have quite a topsy-turvy grid. I'm desperately trying to remember. I'm sure he must have. If Napier's had a pole position, I'm sure he must have in UGL at some point. So Hobgoblin is, I don't know if he is, it seems, and he spins, and he spun it. Just caught the curb and the white line, and he spins it round. So I was just saying, I wondered if he was on a hot lap, and he certainly was. And he spins it round. So Prawn Star did a cool down lap, built up some battery power, and he's going again, and he's found half a tenth in the first sector. Ollie Berry is back out on racetrack. I think Sniper might be doing the same thing. And likewise, and Climber's improved by nearly a second to go third fastest on a 45.1. Good lap there from Climber, but Hobgoblin there with a spin. And he's come straight back into the pit lane. And Prawn Star, let's see how he gets on. Sixth position. I think his best qualifying is seventh, I believe. So he could even be on for his best ever result in qualifying here for Prawn Star. As Tom Inferno heads out onto... Sorry, Napier heads out. Both Aston Martins out on the racetrack. Doesn't look as if the rain's eased at all. So, let's see how Prawn Star gets on as he heads towards the line now. Does he improve his lap time? He finds 0.3 of a second, but he remains in 6th position. Kronos Grand has gone back out on a set of full wets. And Ollie Berry and Midgeman back out on the racetrack as well to try again. Now, is Climber just building up battery to try again? Or is he going to be coming into the pits? Prawn Star going very slowly. I think, again, he might just be trying to build up a bit of battery power to try again. Ollie Berry about to start his second attempt at a flying lap. That is Hobgoblin, I believe, just leaving the pit lane. Yes, it is. So let's see what Ollie can do. So he heads into turn 3. Look at that visibility. It's not great. And in the race, this could be a real problem if you're closely following another car. I don't know if we can really, we can't really see it. Still Hobgoblin struggling there, and this is on his out lap. I mean, I know the tyres might be a little bit colder, but he does look as if he's struggling a bit for grip out there. So Kronos Grand is on a lap, and now so is Midgeman. They are the only 3 yet to set a lap time. We've got 2.5 minutes of Q3 to go, and at the moment it's Napier fast on pole position as Tom Inferno does improve by a fraction. There is 29 thousandths of a second separating the 2 Aston Martins. Tom did look a bit out of shape there coming out of that corner. So let's see if Napier is improving as he comes to the end of the first sector. A fraction down, but it does look very, very close between the 2 Aston Martins. As Prawn Star is indeed carrying on for another lap. As here come... Oh, Ollie there with a big slide. And that was just through a gentle right-hand curve. They're really struggling here for grip. So this could make the race very exciting for us as the viewers. But here comes Ollie Berry. He is going to get a lap time on the board. And he goes up to 4th place. That's a good lap from him. Hobgoblin's about to start his lap. Kronos Grand is about to complete. Oh no, he's just invalidated right at the end. I think he did similar to Ollie, but tried to keep his foot in it, and it invalidated his lap time. So he's going to have to try again. Midgeman is coming through as Tom Inferno sets provisional pole position on a 44.7. Napier is improving, but not by enough at the moment. What can he do in the final sector? I mean, he's improved there by 3.5 tenths as Tom Inferno. As here comes Napier. Is he going to be able to snatch pole position back from his teammate? Oh, my goodness me. Still less than half, or just over half a tenth between them. The 2 Aston Martins are absolutely on it at the moment. And Midgeman's also invalidated. And so has Kronos. Kronos is off. So those 2, they're not going to get a lap time on the board. Hobgoblin is on a lap. Can he get himself anywhere near the top? His teammate is 3rd fastest at the moment. And Climber's just going to cross the line in time to start another lap. Ollie Berry's invalidated, and so is Nameless. They're not going to improve. Oh, and that sniper spun round coming out the chicane. So they're all struggling out there as here comes Hobgoblin. And Climber spun as well at coming out of turn 2 as Hobgoblin takes pole position. He looked as if he was struggling, but he snatched his pole position at the death from Tom Inferno. That is incredible. Absolutely incredible. Prawn Star is not improving. We saw Sniper spinning, so that, I think, is going to be it, unless Napier is keeping his foot in it. Does look as if he's going to complete the lap. I haven't seen any of his sector times, unfortunately, so I don't know if he's getting quicker. But what a lap Hobgoblin pulled out there. As Napier fails to improve, so Hobgoblin takes pole position for the French Grand Prix. And it's Ferrari, Aston Martin. Aston Martin, Ferrari on the front two rows. Good effort from Ollie Berry. 5th on the grid. Prawn start as well. I think that's his best ever qualifying in UGL. Again, I'm sure he'll probably correct me if I'm wrong. But 6th. Nameless 7th. Quite a session from Nameless, especially in the wet conditions. Sniper 8th. Kronos Grand 9th. And Midgeman takes 10th. So let's invite our pole man for a chat. And I would also like to invite his teammate, because as I said, he won last weekend and I wasn't here to interview him. So let's see if we can get the two Ferrari boys in for a chat. Pom Pom saying, insane, Dan. Wavy minds, let's go, Dan. Certainly was an insane lap there from Hobgoblin. I hope the two Ferraris come and join me. But up until they do, there you see confirmation of the grid. Hobgoblin on pole position with Tom Inferno alongside him. Napier in 3rd. Climber in 4th in the 2nd Ferrari. Ollie Berry, good effort, as I said, in 5th for Alpine. Prawn Star 6th. Then Nameless 7th in the Williams. Then Sniper 8th. Kronos Grand and Midgeman failed to set lap times. We have been joined by Hobgoblin. Dan, well, I mean, I saw your first lap a bit on board. You looked like you were struggling for grip and on your out lap, and then you pulled out pole position lap time. Where did that come from?
You know me, Matt. I love the rain.
Well, I did think that. I know that, but you did look like you were struggling. I mean, were you struggling a bit for grip? Or?
Oh, yeah. It was horrendous. It was, yeah, very difficult. As you saw in the first lap, when I basically half spun it. Yeah, it wasn't easy out there, but it was just a case of trying to put some kind of lap to really good middle sector and really good last sector, and I think probably got me pole.
Yeah, definitely a very, very good lap. The Aston Martins both look quick as well, both right behind you, and your teammate as well snapping at your heels. I mean, do you think you can hold them off and take race victory tonight?
I can't tell you what I think the outcome's going to be of this race. All I can say is it's going to be a mega one.
It certainly is. And as you said, you love wet weather driving. I asked this to Frank earlier on. What sort of changes do you make, just for the viewers, what sort of changes to your setup do you make, if any, from slick conditions into wet conditions?
I mean, with situations like tonight, where we've got a very mixed conditions through quality, and we've even got it in the race as well as forecasted to rain towards the end, it's important to get a setup that's hybrid, one that can be ran through both dry and wet with a slight adjustment. I think I managed to find that setup, and it's just a case of the front wing changing that, and maybe a tyre pressures is the best way to go around it, really.
Okay, well, thank you very much, and good luck for the race. I hope you have a good one, and hope to talk to you later.
Thanks, mate.
No worries. So, as I said, we've got a few minutes break now between now and the start of the race. So, what I will do, I will take you through the World Championship situation as things stand, heading towards halfway through this season now already. Can you believe it? But in the World Championship, Hobgoblin now leads by 36 points in the World Championship. It is imperative, really, for everyone else chasing him to take some points off him. Climber, his teammate, is 2nd in the World Championship after that victory last weekend. Tom Inferno up into 3rd, just 4 points behind Climber. I mean, there is a big battle really going on for 2nd. Climber, Tom Inferno. Nameless is only 11 points behind Climber, and you can't rule out Davis either out of that, because he is only 13 points behind Nameless. So you can't rule him out. We know how consistent he is. Sorry, I pulled my mic out there and I didn't even realise for a few seconds. So, right. So, and then other things to look out for in the World Championship. Well, Ollie Berry and Prawn Star, 9th and 10th in the Drivers' Championship. They're separated by just 3 points, and they're only 5 points behind that is Frank, and Midgeman is coming up quite quick on them as well. Roland and Piercy, they're only 1 point apart, with Kronos 8 points further back. Also Bailey in there as well. So keep an eye out for those. In the Constructors, well, obviously, as it's Ferrari 1-2 in the Drivers' Championship, Ferrari lead the Constructors' Championship now by 71 points over Williams. But a big battle going on for second between Williams and Aston Martin. And I'm sure both Aston Martin boys will be delighted to be so far up the grid, and the highest Williams to be only 7th on the grid. Behind them, Alpine are looking pretty secure at the moment in 4th place. And then we've got another good fight going on behind them. Red Bull, Alfa Romeo and Mercedes separated by just 12 points. So they are going to be ones to look out for as well. And behind that, Haas and AlphaTauri in the fight for 8th in the Constructors are only 4 points apart. Now McLaren are a little way adrift in the Constructors' Championship at the bottom, but with Kronos Grand up there in the top 10, and wasn't looking too bad in the damp conditions earlier on, they will be certainly looking to try and close that gap up on the teams in front of them. So that is the championship situations. Lot to look out for. This is the halfway point of the season, 24 race season. This is round 12. But stay tuned. As Dan said, it's going to be an insane race. So here we go. The French Grand Prix. The drivers are readying up. Don't forget, rain is forecast for later in the race. But let me run you through the grid as they go on their formation lap. Hobgoblin with a brilliant lap at the end of qualifying. On pole position alongside him, Tom Inferno in the Aston Martin. His teammate Napier right behind him in 3rd place. And by the way, Hobgoblin starting on the hard tyres. Tom Inferno on the mediums. Napier in 3rd is starting on the mediums, and Clymer in the 2nd Ferrari starting on the hard. So completely different strategies from the two teams there. It will be dependent on when the rain actually comes down. Ollie Berry and Prawn Star make up row 3, both of those on the hards. Row 4, Nameless in the Williams and Sniper in the Haas, also both on hard tyres. Row 5, Kronos Grand in the McLaren and Midgeman in the 2nd Haas, also both on hard tyres. Row 6, Frank in the Mercedes on the hard tyres, and Davis, interestingly, in the Williams, starting on softs. Keep an eye out on him at the start. He's going to have a lot more grip than anyone else. Row 7, Piercy in the AlphaTauri and Adam Fleets in the Red Bull, both on hard. Row 8, Lewis in the AlphaTauri and Jamie in the Mercedes, the two reserve drivers, both on the hard tyres. And row 9, Bailey in the Alfa Romeo and Roland in the McLaren. Bailey's on the hards, Roland's on the mediums. So everyone on the grid is on the hard tyres, apart from the two Aston Martins in second and third, who are on mediums. Roland at the back is also on mediums, and Davis in 12th is on the softs. So clearly, I would say everyone on the hards is going to try and stay out till the rain comes down. And I think the Aston Martins are going to be hoping that they can take their mediums when the rain comes down as well. But here we go. They're coming out of the final corner now. And they're going to start forming up on the grid. So here we go. Good evening to everyone tuning in. Great to have so many of you. Come and say hello. I will get to as many messages as I can as we get going. But the last drivers are forming up on the grid now. Will they all make it through turn 1? Okay. And that's it. I didn't hear the lights at all, but lights out of the way we go. And a great start from Tom Inferno and Napier. The two Aston Martins are going to go into first and second position. Ollie Berry's had a very good start as well, trying to go around the outside of Hobgoblin. And Ollie Berry's had a brilliant start, but just hit the curb and is forced to fall back. Tom Inferno takes the lead into turn 1. Those softer tyres than the Ferraris were on proved pivotal, and the two Mercedes are both round at the back. So the two Mercedes fall to the back of the field. Ollie Berry with a great start, almost took third position away from Hobgoblin. And Davis, as I said, had a very good start as well. As has Adam Fleets. The two Haskars are really struggling. We know those hard tyres are difficult to warm up, but they are really, really struggling. Look at them, and they're side by side as well. Midgeman and Sniper almost contact, but Midgeman stays in front. Meanwhile, up at the front, the two Aston Martins now are going to try and make a break for it as soon as they can from Hobgoblin behind them. And Roland's not made much progress on those medium tyres. Only gained 2 places because of the two Mercedes falling back. I don't know what happened to them at the start. But anyway, Tom Inferno leads from Napier. I said they should be looking good at the start of the race, and they are indeed. Their medium tyres helping them off the line. So much better than the Ferrari of Hobgoblin. But you've got to say at the moment, Hobgoblin looks like he's hanging on much better than you might expect. We've seen people start on hard tyres this season, UGL, and they have been all over the place, as Nameless has got past Prawnstar now and up into 6th place. But Hobgoblin, I think it was Silverstone, he just fell through the field at the start and was holding a lot of people up. But this time he does look as if he's hanging on, unless, of course, the two Aston Martins might be just trying to pace themselves, because they're going to try and make those tyres last to when the rain comes down as well. That could be the situation. The DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap, so they might want to try and break that if they can, and stay within DRS of each other and pull each other along. Big train of cars up behind Hobgoblin at the moment. Prawnstar coming under pressure from Davis on those soft tyres, don't forget, and he's had a good run here as Davis. There you can see alongside Prawnstar, they head into the right hander wheel to wheel. Oh my goodness me, almost contact. Great driving by the pair of them. Oh, I think that was contact. I don't think Prawnstar left Davis enough space. And Davis has spun round as a result. Oh, that's a shame. Because they went through that fast right-hander brilliantly together, and yet now the two Aston Martins have broken the DRS to Hobgoblin behind them. Ollie Berry in a Ferrari sandwich at the moment in 4th position. And yes, I think now what might happen is the two Aston Martins will try and pull each other along. Napier will have DRS on Tom Inferno. And if it means him getting past, he'll give DRS straight back. They need to work together as a team here. Because at the moment, you'd say, again, dependent on when the rain comes, they are looking like... Hobgoblin's looking like a stronger strategy. Davis in the pits, just changing to the medium tyres. Penalty already. I said look out for the penalties in this race. And it's gone to Bailey. The two Aston Martins now 2 seconds clear of Hobgoblin, who's trying to defend from Ollie Berry. Not quite close enough there, Ollie, as Adam Fleets gets past his teammate. So Fleets is past Prawnstar. Oh, a bit wide there from Kronos, and Midgeman pounces as a result. Kronos completely outbraked himself into the chicane, and as a result, Midgeman is now trying to come back through the field after a poor start for both Haas cars. Has come back into 9th place. Don't forget, Fleets was knocked out in Q2. And he's already up into 7th place. So he looks like, as well, he's got some good pace. Look at the 3 behind. Here, Midgeman, Kronos Grant and Sniper, the 2 Haas cars, sandwiching the McLaren of Kronos. Lewis and Piercy, the 2 Alpha Tauris, not far behind that as well. Lewis surprisingly quiet at the moment. Had a poor qualifying. But... we know how quick he is, as Tommy Ferno now sets fastest lap of the race at 35.0. Look at this train of cars up behind Adam Fleets. He's helping Prawnstar at the moment with DRS, so that will help Prawnstar stay in front of everyone else. But now can Prawnstar stay within DRS of his teammate? Oh, Kronos with a big slide in the background, and now can Sniper pounce? Riding on board with Sniper coming into turn 3. Will Kronos see him do this contact? And Sniper's round. Oh, and I think that he's just been tapped by someone. Was he tapped by someone? The 2 Alpha Tauris right behind him. But Sniper now spins round as well. So a little bit of spatial awareness lacking at the moment from a couple of people out there. But the 2 Aston Martins continue to pull away from Hobgoblin, who's really coming under pressure from Ollie Berry, Climber, his teammate, and Nameless in the Williams. So these 4, and Ollie Berry especially, really close to the back of that Ferrari. Ollie does tend to run his car with very low downforce, so stronger in a straight line. Midgeman still up behind the 2 Red Bulls, and Prawnstar has stayed within DRS for now of his teammate. And then behind that, we've got Kronos Grand holding up the 2 Alpha Tauris, as Ollie Berry has gone very wide at the final corner and has lost 2 places as a result. So I think he might have just locked up into the final hairpin, tried to avoid hitting Hobgoblin, and has cost himself quite a lot of time. Can he now cruise back up to the back of that battle? Hobgoblin, by the way, now 3 seconds behind the 2 Aston Martins. And he now has his teammate right behind him, along with Nameless in the Williams. Of course, don't forget, Climber is in the championship fight. He is Hobgoblin's nearest championship rival. So I can't see there being team orders at the moment. But who knows here. Ollie Berry now is going to have quite a very fast fleet in his DRS, as Davis at the back of the field sets fastest lap. On lap 5 of this race, is Adam close enough? Not quite. Not quite close enough. But almost thought about it. Kronos Grand has still in front of the 2 Alpha Tauris, and Bailey and Roland are in there as well. You can just see the Alfa Romeo and the other McLaren just behind. The 2 Mercedes are closing up. We saw them both lose ground on lap 1. They're both closing up, and look at Lewis now having a look at Kronos Grand, and he backed out of it, thought better of it. And also the 2 Mercedes are dragging Sniper along with them as well, so this could soon be a very big queue behind Kronos. Oh, and Roland's round. Roland has spun it, so Roland now falls to the back of the field. Well, second to last, of course, Davis is at the back. And who's that round? That's Prawn Star round. Oh, was there contact there? Yes, Prawn Star. We're saying Prawn Star and Midgeman. Midgeman's also fallen down the field. So that looks like a problem between Prawn Star and Midgeman. And now Frank is trying to capitalise by going past Prawn Star, but Prawn Star having none of it. Bailey's benefited hugely. We heard from him earlier saying that he was a bit rusty. At the moment, he's in 11th place. So having a great start to this race. There is the Alfa Romeo. And there is another car round. That is Ollie Berry. Ollie Berry spun it again. Or another mistake at least from Ollie. Well, I said look out for the wet conditions. We might see a few spins. We're seeing them now. Some through contact, some through just plain mistakes out there. And Ollie Berry was right up there at one point as Clymer's got past his teammate. So Clymer has overtaken Hobgoblin. Wow, there's so much overtaking going on. I'm struggling to keep up with it. Still, the two Aston Martins lead now by 4 seconds from the two Ferraris. Is this a bit of tactical going on with the two Ferraris? Just give each other DRS, overtake each other if you have to, and defend from Nameless behind, who's looking a lot quicker and happier in these dry conditions than he was in the wet conditions of qualifying. And just behind them, and just chipping away at the gap as well, is the Red Bull of Adam. You saw him there in the background, 4 seconds behind them. And having a good race there is Adam. And now Kronos again coming under pressure from Lewis as they head into turn 1. Lewis has got the inside line, and Lewis is through. That's 7th place now for Lewis. Piercy's just dropped back a little bit from those two. And now Bailey, oh, look at that in the background. That's Midgeman trying to find a way past Brawn Star. So there's a DRS train now formed behind Bailey. We've got Prawn Star, Midgeman, Frank, Jamie and Sniper all in there. So, but Bailey's had a good couple of corners there, and that, I think, is going to keep him in front of those behind. Certainly looks like it at the moment. Yeah, we got a very good exit onto that first part of the Mistral straight. Still Piercy stuck behind Kronos. Kronos getting the DRS from Lewis still at the moment. And still this battle going on. The two Ferraris and Nameless. Adams dropped back a little bit on this lap. Now 5 seconds behind. But Clymer looks like he's trying to push on here. They're starting to close the gap on the top two. It's down to about 3.5 seconds. So are those medium tyres that they started the race on starting to go off a little bit? And there is a yellow flag in Sector 3. Is that Ollie again? I think Ollie has made another mistake out there somewhere. Because, yes, he's lost a lot of time to Roland behind him. So, but at the moment, we know there is rain coming. It is forecast, but the track and the sky, well, the sky is still looking pretty clear at the moment. So now it is a question of if those medium tyres are starting to go off. Oh, and that Sniper off. I did see he was very close with Jamie on the racetrack. Was there contact between the two? But Sniper off at turn 1. And Pom-Poms, yes, Lewis was in Alpine, but he has now dropped to a reserve driver. So he's just taking whatever seat is available now. But Sniper there with a spin. I might have been contact with Jamie. As here comes Midgeman. He's not... Oh, little bit of touch there. He's stuck in this DRS train. Bailey looks as if he's really got some good straight line speed. Because they were a lot closer on that lap. And still, they can't find a way past. Bronstar in the slipstream of Bailey right now. You've got to say Kronos Grand is doing a good job here. Still hanging on to Lewis. As Clymer continues to chip away at the lead 2. Down. Let's have a look what the lap times are. Tom Inferno does a 35.6. Napier a 35.7. And Clymer does a 35.4. So another few tenths out of the lead 2 on that lap. But at the moment, you say it's very much a 5-horse race. There is Adam on his own at the moment in 6th. Lewis really coming under pressure from Kronos Grand here. And then we got this battle going on. Bailey, Prawnstar, Midgeman, Frank, and Jamie's dropped back a little bit. And also Ollie Berry and Sniper very close together. Sniper trying to go around the outside. That is a brilliant move by Sniper. Absolutely brilliant around the outside of turn 1. And well done Ollie as well for leaving him the space. And these two still going at it. Oh, Napier gets a penalty in 2nd place. That might come back to haunt him later in the race. But brilliant racing between those two down there. And that is for 15th position. Still the top 2 lead. They seem to just picked up their pace a little bit on this lap. They're pulling away again from those behind. As Midgeman picks up another penalty. And still Ollie Berry and Sniper going at it at the moment. But Napier now, interestingly, has just dropped outside DRS of his teammate. So is he beginning to struggle a bit more on those tyres? Because he has, I was saying earlier on, the best thing really would be for them to pull each other along. But now Napier's dropped outside the DRS. That, for now, is not going to happen. Can Tom Inferno make the most of this and start pulling away? We're on lap 10 of the race. Nearly at half distance already. And got to say, there's been a few incidents and spins. But at the moment, all 18 cars who started the race are still going. And now Prawnstar is past Bailey. Prawnstar gets past Bailey and up into 10th place. Can he now pull away from the Alfa Romeo? And Sniper and Ollie still going at it. Oh, Bailey very close there to making contact. Oh, there's a car round. And that is Piercy round. Piercy round. Another spin. Well, as I said earlier, we were saying, I was saying watch out for the wet conditions and a lot of spinners. We're seeing a lot of spinners now in the dry. So that has cost Piercy dearly. He was up in 9th place. He's dropped all the way back to 14th now. So meanwhile, at the front, Clymer now. He's less than 3 seconds behind Napier and still dragging Hobgoblin and Nameless along. Adam at the moment had a good start to this race. Very much on his own right now. In 6th position, 6 seconds off the top 5. 2 seconds clear of Lewis, who isn't really making any inroads on the Red Bull at the moment. But now, I think the hard tyres will start being a little bit stronger than the mediums. So can the 2 Ferraris now take advantage of that? Hobgoblin getting pretty close to his teammate, but not challenging him at the moment. As Midgeman gets past Frank out of the final corner. And can Midgeman now attack Bailey, who's still got DRS from Prawnstar? So I don't think it's going to happen this lap. And by the way, Sniper and Ollie have been joined by Roland down there near the back of the field. So some great racing going on here. Still Kronos hanging on to Lewis. But the 2 Ferraris can see Napier now right in front of them. And they're still pulling each other along and keeping each other in front of Nameless's Williams in 5th position. Lap 11 of the French Grand Prix. And it's pretty much status quo. There's some good battles going on. But up the front, the top 6 have been pretty stable for a while now. Oh, a yellow flag in Sector 2. That is Midgeman round. Was there contact? We saw him in a fight with Frank. But Midgeman spins at the chicane. And that drops him all the way down to 17th place. So again, it goes to show just how close the field is, because a spin is costing people a lot of positions. And now Clymer less than 2 seconds behind Napier. So will the Aston Martins try and work together? Because if Clymer gets within DRS of Napier, that could be a bad thing. Will they try and work together, the Aston Martins here, to keep their 1-2 at the moment? as Midgeman gets another penalty, and I think he's off the track again. Oh, he's coming in the pits. I did see him off the track, so I don't know if he maybe tried to come in and hit the wall or something on the way into the pit lane. But let's see when he comes in, if they change his front wing or something along those lines. Let's have a look. Hasselhoff's right down at the end of the pit lane. Set a soft tyre, so that does suggest that the rain isn't far out. But he does come out right at the back of the field. And now, Hobgoblin's got back past his teammate, by the way, while we were watching that. And they're now within DRS of Napier. So what are Aston Martin going to do here? Are they going to ask Tom Inferno to drop back? It is clouding over. And we saw in qualifying, when it does start raining here, it really pours. And the track gets very, very slippery. But Hobgoblin now is within DRS of Napier, who really looks as if he's struggling on those tyres at the moment. Those medium tyres, it always was a little bit of a gamble. Yes, it's helped him with the tyres. Hobgoblin now sets fast lap of the race. He's going past Napier around the outside of turn 1, or is he? Yes, he is. Great move there from Napier. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. That is Ollie Berry round again. But great move there from Hobgoblin. And, well, that just reminds me there of Nigel Mansell once said, of once you are up behind someone, attack them immediately, because once you get settled behind them, you can be stuck there for a long time. That's exactly what it did, and it really is showing that those hard tyres now are much stronger than the mediums that are on the two Aston Martins. And that is Midgeman spun. Doesn't look like it's raining yet, but it's certainly clouding over. We are approaching half distance, which is about when everyone said it would start happening. I think the two Aston Martins especially will be praying for a bit of rain, because those mediums are falling apart as Frank gets past Bailey and up into 10th place. But Bailey's still having a good race out there, got to be said. And of course Hobgoblin now is going to drag Napier and Clymer and Nameless towards Tom Inferno. And I just saw a little bit of rain, but riding on board with Hobgoblin doesn't look like it at the moment. So lap 13, they're just completing. And let's have another look at the lap times. Tom Inferno has dropped into the 36s now, and Hobgoblin in the mid-35s. We saw him on the last lap set fastest lap. And look at Nameless in the background, trying to distract Napier, who's already slipped out of DRS to Hobgoblin. So it does look as if Napier's struggling more than his teammate with these mediums. Of course, it could be driving style, it could be setup. Means that Napier might be wearing the tyres out a little bit more than Tom Inferno. But certainly Tom Inferno looks a bit more comfortable out there at the moment. But let's have a look. Hobgoblin in DRS. Not a lot of battery power left though. But he is getting closer. He is getting closer. Is he going to have a look? Trying to just distract the Aston Martin. Not quite close enough. But how much stronger does Hobgoblin look right now than Tom Inferno? Even on the brakes, he nearly hit the back of Tom Inferno. He's so much more confident at the moment. I think those tyres are gone. And now Clymer's getting past Napier around the outside. Great driving from the pair of them to give each other space. Napier's still got the inside line. Can Clymer sweep around the outside? Yes, he can. What a move. Napier's still trying to hang on. Nameless getting involved there as well. But I think Clymer's got it done, but Napier coming back at him. This is great wheel-to-wheel racing between these two. Clymer still got the inside line into this left-hander, but Napier will have the inside line to the final corner. But he has slotted in for DRS. Meanwhile, Hobgoblin in DRS to Tom Inferno. And Nameless has got past Napier and all that. And now Nameless gets past Clymer. Nameless is through. So Nameless has pounced on the pair of them while they were fighting each other. Nameless moves up into 3rd place. What driving there by those three. And still Hobgoblin stuck behind Tom Inferno at the moment. It is really getting dark overhead. And look at Tom really struggling on the throttle there. Midgeman, by the way, on those soft tyres, has just set fastest lap of the race. And look at how much more grip Hobgoblin has. And it is now starting to rain as Hobgoblin is going to go through and take the lead on lap 15. Started on pole, dropped to third, 1 point dropped to fourth behind his teammate. But now on lap 15, he is back into the lead of the race as the rain starts to fall. Davis is in, and he's immediately going on to the intermediate. So is he thinking it's going to be like qualifying and come down hard and heavy, and the track is going to get wet? Because if it is too dry, those intermediates will just burn out instantly. So you don't want to go on them too soon. And of course, this is now a double whammy for the Aston Martins because they're on worn tyres. Personally, I feel it's still a bit too early for intermediates. And now they're going to start losing grip. Even more than Hobgoblin is. And look, already over a second clear. And you only got past him halfway around the lap. So that's how much more grip and confidence he's got at the moment. Lewis also in. So that's the second driver deciding to pounce early to go onto intermediate tyres. I would assume that's why he's coming in. As I said in qualifying, normally it's when they turn off DRS or disable DRS. That's normally the sign that the track's ready for intermediates. So have Lewis and Davis just gone a little bit too soon? I'm keeping an eye on the gap between Davis and Midgeman. It's pretty close. Ollie Berry in, but gets a penalty in for speeding in the pit lane. And there we go. DRS is disabled, so Lewis might have timed this perfectly here. Hobgoblin already pulled out to 2 seconds clear of Tom Inferno, who has Nameless all over the back of him. Nameless trying to go around the outside. Climbers in there as well. And wow, that is just going to show how much more grip he's got. Nameless and now Climber gets past Tom Inferno. Those Aston Martins, they took a gamble. They thought if the rain had come 2 or 3 laps ago, it would be perfect for them. But those mediums have fallen away. And look how heavy the rain's coming down now. So surely these guys are going to have to pit as Napier even gets past his teammate. And, oh, Tom's got a puncture. That's why Tom Inferno's got a left front puncture. So took those mediums too far as Hobgoblin. Oh, Hobgoblin gets a penalty speeding in the pit lane. That could come back to haunt him later in the race. Climber in, Napier in, Tom Inferno obviously in with his puncture. And Adam Fleet is carrying on. So I'm pretty sure he led a race a couple of races ago. But the Red Bull of Adam is into the lead of this race, having not stopped yet. As the rain continues to fall, Prawn Star's carrying on as well. He's up to third. And pretty much everyone else is pitting. So only the 2 Red Bulls have decided to stay out. And, well, bit risky, you'd have to say. Adam's had a good race so far, but he might regret this decision. He was a couple of seconds clear of those behind him, but when it's like this, you could lose easily 5, 6, 7 seconds in a lap, especially a long lap like this. He's already lost like 1.5 seconds to Hobgoblin since Hobgoblin came out the pits. And, yeah, Nameless now all over the back of Prawn Star, who's the other driver still on slicks. And Midgeman's oh! I think there was contact there between Nameless and Prawn Star. And Nameless loses 3rd place, what will be 2nd place, to Napier. Tom Inferno lost out badly there with that puncture, because he's now come out behind Lewis in the AlphaTauri. So we did see both Astons really struggling there toward the end of their stint. And surely, yeah, Adam only... Oh, and Adam spins into the pit lane. That's how little grip he's got. And, well, I was going to say he'd lost 8 seconds on that lap. Midgeman's still on slicks as well, and he's just spun. So Hobgoblin leads. And let's see what his gap is across the line. It's 5 seconds. So, well, he's looking Very, very good once again. Nameless right behind him. Climber is 4th. Lewis up to 5th. And Adam staying out that extra lap. And of course, spinning into the pit lane has dropped him behind Frank, maybe even. Yes, Frank goes through. So Adam's dropped to 9th place. But let's see what he can do. As Midgeman is, well, he's nowhere now. Spun again. Maybe he thought those slicks might just help him for an extra lap, but I mean, there wasn't a lot of point really. But Hobgoblin looking comfortable out front. 5 seconds clear of this battle for second. Of course, no DRS now. So it'll all be about the setups that they've got, how much straight line speed each car has got, and of course, hoping to pressure the driver in front of you into a mistake, which I think is exactly what Tom Inferno's doing at the moment. Pole position. Second on the grid. Took the lead at the start and got a puncture by taking a gamble on the mediums. Went too far. The rain came too late for him and it's dropped him to 6th in this race. But still good for Aston Martin at the moment in the Constructors, because Nameless is 3rd, but Davis is all the way down in 17th. And Midgeman's going on to full wets. So he's gone from one extreme to another there as Midgeman. He's about to be... He has been lapped by the top 3. But it doesn't look wet enough at the moment for full wets, although the rain is still coming down quite hard. We're on lap 19. There's only 8 laps to go after the one they're on. So surely they'll try and tiptoe around on intermediates for these last few laps, unless it absolutely pours down. Kronos Grand having a good race as well. Up into 7th place now in this race. Started 9th. Is now 7th. So a lot of drivers around him made mistakes, spun off. At the moment, he's kept it honest. And I think that's Midgeman round. I think those... He's out of the race. Midgeman is out. Midgeman is out. And we have a safety car. Midgeman has crashed his Haas. He's out of the race. And it has caused a safety car. Let's see if he'll come and chat to us. First retirement of the race. So that is not what Hobgoblin wanted. And we've been joined by Midgeman. Just make sure your audio is included, please, mate. Well, we saw you stay out on slicks 1 lap too many. You went to full wets. I mean, is the forecast for the rain to get heavier?
Yeah, it was. And I mostly did it for Sniper, so he could see what the pace was like.
Yeah, and we're just seeing the race leader coming in as well. Tell us what happened, though. What caused your retirement?
I stupidly thought that I could still take it flat out, and I couldn't. Just the rear came round on me, and there was no saving it.
Yeah, well, very unlucky. Have a good week, and hope to see you next week.
Yeah, cheers. Yeah, cheers.
So, right, back to the race. I'm not sure why, or if they made a mistake here, but Hobgoblin's pitted again and put on another set of intermediates. I don't know if he meant to put on full wets, because we heard from Midgeman that the rain is forecast to get heavier. But what it has done has dropped him back to 7th place in this race. So Napier now leads in the Aston Martin. Nameless is 2nd. Climber is 3rd. Lewis is up to 4th now. Tom Inferno 5th. Kronos Grand is 6th. As I said, Hobgoblin's dropped to 7th. As I said, I'm not sure if he meant to go to the full wets and they made a mistake there. Piercy, Ollie and Davis down at the back of the field are all in the pit. Piercy's also put on a new set of inters, and so has Ollie. So, well, I would have thought the inters would have made it to the end, but there must be a logical reason. Yeah, Davis has done the same thing. So there must be a logical reason for it. So we're on lap 20. While we're under a safety car, I'm going to open it up to everyone watching on the Twitch stream. Get your vote in for driver of the day. I'd love to have a few of you involved in this. Get your vote in for driver of the day. Type the name of the driver who you think deserves it into the chat and I will tally them up and give you the result at the end of the race. And I will also have my own driver of the day as well. So, I mean, in a way, this safety car is a godsend for the likes of Piercy, Davis and Ollie Berry a long way down at the back of the field. Because they are going to be able to catch up now. Kronos Grand, by the way, I'm just looking at the race results from this season. His best finish this season was back in Australia, where he finished 10th. He's only finished 5 races this season as Kronos. He's finished 10th there, 13th at Imola, 14th at Spain, 17th in Canada and 18th at Silverstone. At the moment, he's up in 6th. So looking good for comfortably his best finish of the season so far. Clymer, as I said, I mean, he didn't get his first podium until Monaco. And then he won last time out in Austria. So if that was a mistake by Hobgoblin, this could be a good chance for Clymer to chip away at the championship lead of Hobgoblin. The only other explanation actually I've just thought of for Hobgoblin is, of course, he did have that 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So maybe he was just trying to get rid of that. Because with a safety car this late in the race, that could really affect his finishing position. So that's the only other thing I can think of as to why Hobgoblin would pit. But we're on lap 21. We're just waiting for the people at the back of the field to catch up, which is just Davis, who's practically caught up, and Ollie Berry, who's had a bit of a disastrous race. Started in the top 10, 6th on the grid. He's down in 17th. Let's just quickly as well have a look at the winners and losers from the start. There you can see Lewis has gained 11 places from 15th on the grid up to 4th. Bailey's done well as well to be in the top 10. Rowland up 4 as well. Ollie Berry's lost the most, lost 12 places. But the safety car is in at the end of this lap. So now Napier effectively becomes the safety car. He controls the pace and it's up to him when he puts his foot down. And of course they need to keep temperature in those tyres. We've seen how easy it is for people to spin. And they don't want to be doing that at the start of this lap, especially those up front. Nameless in second place, Clymer in third. Lewis is normally very good in these situations. He's 4th at the moment in the Alpha Tauri. And how much progress can Hobgoblin make? So here we go. Napier's still not gone for it, and he goes now. And Nameless trying to go with him, but I think Napier's had a pretty good restart, and Clymer trying to get closer to Nameless. And look at this, they're almost three abreast down in turn 1. Tom Inferno immediately trying to attack Lewis, and Kronos Grand was in there as well. Kronos Grand is having a very, very good race here. He really is. Really has looked on good pace all throughout this race. And Napier already has broken a second clear of Nameless. We know, and we've heard from Nameless before, he does tend to struggle more in wet conditions. As Ollie Berry and Piercy getting very close together. And Bailey and Snipe, look at this, they're all changing positions left, right and centre. Oh, there's a car off, that's an AlphaTauri, that's Piercy off. As Prawnstar goes around the outside of Bailey. And Rowland's in there as well as Jamie gets past Adam and up into 9th place. Look how close this lot are. Sniper trying to outbrake Prawnstar, who hangs on round the outside. And there's a car off as well. Again, that's Davis. Look how close this lot are. Don't forget, keep your votes coming in for driver of the day. Type them in now, guys. We're on lap 22. And Tom Inferno swarming all over the back of Lewis as Nameless and Clymer trying to break away. But Napier with a 2-second lead out front. He's had a brilliant restart to this race. Nameless, as I said, we've heard from him before, he doesn't like the wet conditions, doesn't feel as comfortable as Tom Inferno gets a penalty. And Hobgoblin was having a little look there at Kronos. But there is that queue behind Nameless right now. Climber, Lewis, Tommy Inferno, Kronos and Hobgoblin as they start lap 23. The two Mercedes trying to close up on it as well. And still that battle rages between Prawn Star, Sniper, Bailey, Davis, with Roland, Ollie, Berry and Piercy not far behind either. But Napier continues to stretch out in the lead. It's over 2 seconds now. The rain is still falling hard, so they're going to start to struggle with traction on these intermediates. But surely at this stage, they'll just try and make them last. And let's have a look here. Nameless trying to move off and break the toe. And, well, what to say, that Williams is looking very quick in a straight line. That might also be why he's struggling in the corners, because he looks quite quick in a straight line compared to Climber. But Napier continues to pull away. Kronos still holding up Hobgoblin in the background as well. Two Mercedes pretty close together in 8th and 9th. And still the battle rages down in 10th place. Let's have a quick look at that. Look at this lot. Prawn Star, Sniper, Bailey, Davis, Ollie Berry, Piercy and Roland not far behind either. As Bailey gets another penalty, that will be added to his time at the end of the race, so it could cost him a few places. But still, Napier continues to stretch away in the lead. What is Climber going to do here? As Hobgoblin gets past Kronos into the final corner. So Hobgoblin up into 6th. Kronos trying to come back at him. He looks like he's got good straight line speed here, Kronos. But Hobgoblin, I think, is going to make that stick down into turn 1. And he does indeed. So Hobgoblin takes back 1 place. He's up into 6th position now. Of course, the top 2 do have penalties in this race, which Climber and Lewis don't. So that might also explain why Napier is pushing as hard as he is, trying to get that gap. I don't know how many penalties everyone has got, and I don't like revealing it either during a race. I like it to be a nice surprise. But for what it's worth, Napier does now have a 3-second lead over Nameless, who, unless he finds some pace here with his penalty, could drop several places here. Lap 24, yellow flag in sector 2. Who is that round? That's Piercy round. That's where Midgeman retired earlier on. And that drops him to the back of the field. But don't forget, for those that don't know, everyone who finishes in UGL gets points. That's the way our points structure works. As Hobgoblin now gets past Tom Inferno. And Tom's trying to come back at him. But look, Hobgoblin up into 5th. So that's 2 cars in less than a lap for Hobgoblin. He's back into 5th, and he's still right there with the battle for 2nd as Napier continues to stretch away in the lead. Let's have a look what the lap times are to see the difference. So Napier does a 1:44.8. Nameless in 2nd place does a 45.6. 0.8 of a second. Napier is pulling away. We're on lap 25, and look at this battle for 2nd place, going all the way back down to Kronos in 7th. I have to say, this is one of the best races I've seen Kronos do. Has really looked on the pace here this evening. And he's kept up with some of the fastest drivers that we know are in the league. And Nameless has made a mistake somewhere. And Climber's through. And Hobgoblin's run wide. And Lewis is back past him. And Kronos is in there as well. Tommy Inferno's made a mistake. Nameless left the session, but Kronos grabbed up into 4th, and there's a car off. Lewis is off, but he's managed to correct it, but he drops back to 9th. Well, I think Nameless had a bit of a internet glitch, but it's cost a lot of people places. But Climber is through, but Napier now has a 6-second lead out front. And Climber up to 2nd. And look at this, look now, they've been joined by the 2 Mercedes. And this is all stuck behind. Well, Climber's at the front of the queue, but I get the feeling he might be able to pull away from this lot. Nameless is really struggling. in these conditions. He's hanging on as Bailey gets yet another penalty. He's getting penalty after penalty here is Bailey. Oh, Hobgoblin's off. Hobgoblin's off. Huge overseas moment. We saw him do that in qualifying, not quite as dramatically, but we saw him do something similar in qualifying. He somehow corrected it, but he rejoins in 10th. I said keep an eye out for these damp conditions because anything can happen as Piercy's round again. But Napier is keeping it all under control. And we have our first vote in for driver of the day. Keep them coming. We're on the penultimate lap. But who knows who's going to get a penalty here. This is the fight for second, third, fourth. They've just broken away a little bit from Tom Inferno. Napier's lead is now 8 seconds over Clymer, who now seems to be struggling a little bit. And Nameless is keeping up with him. Kronos Grand is doing a brilliant job. They're in 4th place. Oh, and there's another car off. Who was that? Well, that was Frank. Frank off. He's gone into the wall, but he's just about still in the race, but he's lost his front wing as Adam gets past Jamie. Was there contact between the two Mercedes? But who knows who's going to finish where here, because the drivers are making mistakes left, right and centre. And look at this lot once again. But the man who is just peerless at the moment is Napier in the lead. 9 seconds clear. Now, the only thing I'd say about the battle for third is that 3rd, 4th and 5th have all got penalties, whereas Lewis hasn't, and neither has Adam in 8th place. Or Hobgoblin, who's not far behind, or Sniper. So we can see a massive switch around of places here. As Tom Inferno throws up the inside of Kronos Grand into the final corner. Is that going to be all about straight line speed? Kronos looks like he's got a little bit more. So again, good driving there to avoid contact by the pair of them. But Kronos Grand hangs on to 4th place. We've got 1 vote in for driver of the day. Keep them coming. We're on lap 27, the final lap of the race. And Napier just continues to just relentlessly pull away. It's now all about survival, you would say, for those behind. The rain is still hammering down. And that is someone off. That's Ollie Berry off. As Hobgoblin gets past Adam up into 9th. So Adam's just lost the position to his teammate. Adam's coming back at him though. And also in there is Sniper, and Sniper's going for it past Hobgoblin. As they head down to the chicane. They're really struggling, and Hobgoblin goes round the outside and hangs on to 10th place. But Napier's in the final sector now. And I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong. But he's only won 1 race before in UGL. Quite a few podiums. But Napier looks as if he's heading towards his first win of the season. His best result was 2nd in Spain. He had a podium back in Australia as well, did Napier. But he exits the final corner as there's a McLaren off. But Napier wins the French Grand Prix with a fantastic drive. And look at all this lot. They're still not giving up. Clymer, I think, is going to hang on to 2nd. But then let's just watch the computer and all the penalties get added on. Lewis takes 3rd. Tom Inferno takes 4th. Jamie takes 5th. Kronos Grand, with his best result of the season, takes 6th. Prawnstar 7th. Nameless 8th in the end. 9th for Sniper. 10th for Adam. 11th for Davis. And Hobgoblin, a lowly 12th. Roland takes 13th. Ollie Berry 14th. Frank 15th. And, well, what a crazy end to that race. That was insane. Fan vote driver of the day. we only had one vote, and it went to Frank for my driver of the day. Well, you got to give it to Napier for his brilliant driving, especially in the damp conditions. But I will say, Kronos Grand as well definitely deserves a mention with a brilliant drive to 6th position. One of his strongest drives. I know he's had podiums before, but that has got to be one of his strongest drives in the league. There you see the final confirmation. Napier wins by just under 10 seconds in the end from Clymer. Of course, with his penalty added on. Lewis takes 3rd in the end for AlphaTauri once all the other penalties were added on. Tom Inferno takes 4th. Jamie takes 5th. Kronos takes 6th in the McLaren. Prawnstar takes 7th for Red Bull. One of his strongest results as well. Nameless finished 8th in the end. Really struggled in the damp conditions. Sniper takes 9th. Adam takes 10th in the second Red Bull. Davis 11th in the other Williams. Hobgoblin will be disappointed, I think, with 12th. Roland 13th in the McLaren. Had a quiet race, did Roland. Ollie 14th in the Alpine. Frank comes home 15th. Piercy 16th. And, well, Bailey cost himself a lot of positions with 24 seconds of penalties in the end. So that dropped him a few places. We have been joined by the top 3. Gentlemen, please make sure all your audios are included so everyone can hear you on the stream. Napier, I'll start with you. What a race. First of all, how are you feeling after that race win?
I'm really happy, mate. Really, really happy. It's one thing getting a win or a podium was our goal coming into the season. We knew we were strong, and so our quality pace, we thought, we can definitely get a good result. So no, I'm really happy.
Yeah, definitely. Both you Aston Martin boys, you started on the medium. The other boundary, pretty much the rest of the field were on hard tyres. Did you, for the start, you could make those medium last to when the rain came?
Well, we predicted it from the last races. The last 2 races we've had have all been rain, and the rain came early in all the races. So we thought, risk it. We knew if we were on mediums against the Ferraris and the cars would be quicker, which we were at the start of it. And we knew that we'd be able to get to the end of the dry patch, at least either leading or being in the top 3 or 5, which we were. So, and also we got a banging start against the Ferraris. We were P1 and 2 after turn 2, and that's what we were looking for. So the main strategy was get a gap, hold it, which we did, and then if we got overtaken, we don't mind, but we knew we had pace in the rain anyway. So, but we both got a puncher. Yeah. I got a puncher going into the pits, and Tom obviously got a puncher. As you saw him dropping back, so we risked it.
Yeah, it definitely worked for you in the end, and your pace after the safety car, especially. Really did help you. I mean, Nameless seemed to be struggling quite a lot, but how difficult were the conditions toward the end? I mean, it looked extremely wet on the racetrack, but how difficult were the conditions at the end of the race?
The inter weather was okay. I knew I was quicker than most purely because of my quality pace and my cornering speed, because I knew that Nameless had a really high rear wing setup. I think he was really quick and straight, so I knew that he wouldn't be able to catch me. Near the end, it was wet weather, full wet weather in inters, which was really difficult. I kept telling Tom, I'm going to bin it, I can't do it, and I couldn't see anything either. So it was just being really, really steady and avoiding spin, really. So it was really difficult.
Yeah, well done. And if I'm right, I said on the stream, I'm sure you correct me, I think that's your second UGL win. Am I right?
Second one.
Yes. Yes, thought I was. Right, so well done. And Clymer, I hope you can hear me now. Can you hear me, Clymer?
Yes, good.
Good. Well, you started 4th on the grid. You started on the hard tyres. You were running 3rd at one point, but you must be pleased to come home in 2nd in the end.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. That game was quite a challenge. It wasn't as for a long time, then it went full wet, and the tyres just wouldn't get up there on 62 degrees as I went across the line.
Oh, wow.
But no, I think we good battling going on. I think me and Napier had a good battle. A couple of laps side by side around the last sector 3. I think that was really good. And well done for Lewis coming P3. He started quite far back.
Yeah, definitely. And we were hearing from Napier how difficult visibility was for him out front. I mean, how difficult was it for you, stuck behind Nameless for quite a while? I mean, how difficult was it for you to see out there?
Yeah, I couldn't. It was very difficult, and it got worse as the race went on. Yeah, I think me and Nameless have similar setups because we were matching each other in every sector. But he did lose connection at one point, which will be reviewed.
Yeah. And
no, all good.
And after your win last weekend and a second place here, it has helped you a lot in the championship with your teammate finishing a long way down. Are you still thinking potentially you might be able to fight for the championship with your teammate?
I hope so. Yeah, unfortunately today didn't go his way, and it was really tricky. But no, I'm planning to catch him back up, and yeah, I'm going for the win as well as he is.
So, well done, mate. Good race from you. And Lewis,
Thank you.
Fairly quiet race, really. I didn't really see you for quite long periods, but you ended up on the podium. You must be pleased with that result.
Oh yeah, I just took it easy at the dry, and then I got a quite good on the cut. I think I made 5 seconds on the switch over, and then that put me in a good position for the safety car. Then I just had to keep out of trouble because I'd seen the penalties.
Yeah, definitely, and loads of carnage. I mean, you were down sort of in the middle of that battle in the last few laps. I mean, cars everywhere. I mean, how difficult was it with the conditions as well to not end up spinning or hitting another car?
Oh yeah, it was just mad. Couldn't see. It was so difficult to see. I was looking for the red light on the back of the car, and those were Nameless disconnected, and then I nearly put it in the wall, and then I managed to save it, and I just managed and then I just knew then everyone in front of me had the penalties, and I just tried course behind them.
Yeah, well done, mate. Good race from you, and well done all three of you, and also Greg as well. I will say you also got my driver of the day. Oh, he's gone. But yes, well done, guys, and hopefully see you all next week. So thank you to everyone who has joined this evening. Great to see so many people on the stream yet again. Please do join us again same time next week. It's round 13 of the season and a completely different racetrack we're going to next week. We're going to the Hungaroring in Budapest for the Hungarian Grand Prix. So please do join us then. It's been an absolute pleasure. Until then, goodbye.